mind is so spectacular. Open up your aperture. You don't like the light that I be shining, bitch, you Dracula. Southern draw vernacular, flip you like a spatula. Knew that I was built to put this world up on my scapula. I've been on the road so long, my tires bald. I don't wanna text and no, I don't wanna call. Came in this shit running, bitch, I don't know how to crawl. We ain't never folding, I'm holding the highest car. Look, okay, grew up running post routes. Now I'm on the cash route. Better call the plumber, that boy spitting like a bass spout. All these bad women in this club, fuck is you mad about? Word to all my estheticians, boy, I'm about to lash out. Straight from St. John's to the east side, jigging since the knee high. Watch the way I put on for my state, nigga, yeehaw. Respecting no everything. Crazy how I made it to the league from the bleach eyes. Boy, my shit hair wrong, black, rich, and bare arms. Smoking on that yogi, this shit stronger than some bare arms. Goku, I'm in rare form, you cannot prepare for him. When I swing, it's like a carnivore, this shit ain't fair for him. Brought intellect back to this rap shit. You niggas need chapstick. Shit been dry for way too long, and I'm the matchstick. You niggas Nickelodeon me, I'm more like Cap Nick. Cap a nigga, throw him in front of me. Party favors on the table, you can pick and choose. I would be lying if I said it, I don't get confused. I'm just a player in the game and I don't pick the rules. Why trouble always seem to find the ones with shit to lose. About to blow like we just lit the fuse. We double dutch into this dough, I get this shit in twos. Push the button, get it started, put that shit in cruise. A little dust up on his heart, I barely get to use. A fool flatters himself, a wise man flatters the fool. Man, I just came to get it started like mechanics with tools. Cause in my hood, if you don't pack a tool, you planning to lose. These young boys deserve Oscars, they be acting a fool. A couple loose screws, but they hammer accurate. Ooh, I know some niggas stuck on drugs and manufacture it too. School of hard knocks, we all got our bachelor's. Food, no cap and gowns, but we all had the master. Party favors on the table, you can pick and choose. I would be lying if I said it, I don't get confused. I'm just a player in the game and I don't pick the rules. Why trouble always seem to find the ones with shit to lose. I'm lit, it's about to be a late night. Fresh wax, shawty, show me what it tastes like. Niggas know me in my city like I'm Wayne Wright. Got them looking up to me and we the same height. Ooh, I got it bad, deep in my bag. Foot on the gas, they cannot last. Swimming with the sharks, cause that's a great white. Never stopping, we don't even need no brake lights. Say she don't smoke, but she always smoke with me, yeah. Back with Vinny, yeah, back up in the ovaries, yeah. All my ops, they stay running like they over easy. Even my masseuse can't just get too close to me, yeah. Shout out to Next, soon as the ink dry, we count out the checks, yeah. I never flex, I bought up a business, you bought up a section. I'm at the top of my class, yeah. Y'all never learned from your lesson. Skywalker gave me the force, yeah. Turn this into an obsession, yeah. I couldn't wait on the team, cooking shit up with just me rowing play, yeah. Things never are what they seem, but we know the facts, yeah. Charging that shit to the game, but now I pull up with a battery pack, yeah. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, and we can just leave it at that. I'm dumb lit, it's about to be a late night. Fresh wax, shawty, show me what it tastes like. Niggas know me in my city like I'm Wayne Wright. Got them looking up to me and we the same height. Ooh, I got it bad, deep in my bag. Foot on the gas, they cannot last. Swimming with the sharks, bitch, that's a great white. Never stopping, we don't even need no brake lights. Big bro, why they call you big bro? Every time we hit the bank, we deposit zip codes. Well connected with the streets, like we out in Skid Row.
Of course, this game 7 or anything you were talking about to come out and play the way that you did.
Yeah, I just thought we played free. You know what I mean? It's really no pressure. We got to come out. We lose, we go home. So I thought we played with no pressure. We stuck to our identity. We're going to play hard. And, yeah, I thought we defended three-point line. We keep them from getting extra possessions. And, you know, we got big fella. Big fella is there's nothing you can do with big fella.
Hey, what was the, I guess, the talk after Joel's first game when he came back? Things didn't look right for your team. And Maxey didn't shoot the ball particularly well, or did he take a lot of shots that first game? And then he came back the second game. But in between that, what was the talk about how to get him acclimated. Maxey, you stick to doing what you have to do. What was that in the film session? What were you guys' conversation?
Yeah, it was an adjustment, because at this time there ain't no practice, and big fella missed about a month and a half, so he literally just got thrown in the mix, and it was going to be an adjustment. Maxey, I talked to him at halftime. He had 3 shots at the time. I told him, man, you got to shoot. Ain't no way we got a chance to win a game if you got 3 shots. And that was just, I think he was trying to get big fella involved and get him, some easy opportunities, and he wasn't looking for his shot. And once he flipped the switch going into Boston for Game 5, he came out aggressive. He was looking for his shot. Big fella, I thought, was trying to get the 3-ball going in that Game 5. Found out they can't guard him down here, so he took it to the block, and that really unlocked his game and got him into a rhythm for Game 5, but Game 6 as well.
We talked about before the game X factors. We knew the stars were going to come out and try to do their thing. We felt X factors. Who's going to be that X factor? You were one of the guys who said, you have a big game, you guys win the game. But we're going to talk about you, but talk about VJ and how I think he's been unlocked and he's playing free and he's giving you that another score. Talk about him and his growth throughout this playoff so far for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's so mature, man. He kind of does it all. You know what I mean? He does it all. He accepts the challenge. He'll guard. He'll go rebound. He'll put his body on the line. Everything you want this time of the year, he'll do it. And you don't find that in rookies, you know what I mean? So, shout out to VJ for being ready, being sharp. And, he's a reason why we're where we're at.
Game 7, Boston. Listen, outside of your locker room, there's not too many people who pick you guys to be in the Game 7 in Boston. What does that say about you guys as far as how do you guys lock in and get ready for this Game 7?
Man, I think it's easy for us. Obviously it's going to be a crazy environment. It's going to be hostile down there. But, Game 5 was crazy. Game 1 was crazy. You know what I mean? Game 2 was crazy. So we know what it is going into it. I'm sure it's going to be a little bit more amplified. But, again, it's win or go home.
Yeah.
And I like our chances, man. I know it ain't going to be easy, but, we've been playing well lately.
So when Melo says not a lot of people would have picked you guys to go to Boston in Game 7, I'm not going to say T-Mac was one of them. You see how he's hiding? You see how he doesn't want to look you in the eye right now, PG? I'm not saying he's one of them, but he might have been one of them.
And to my defense.
Go ahead, defend yourself.
I didn't know Joel Embiid was coming back.
Okay.
My defense.
Hey, I do want to ask you this. You've been around. You walk into that locker room. What do you, the veteran, tell your guys about being prepared and getting prepared for Game 7?
Yeah.
Like, what do you say to them?
Yeah, just, man, don't get too high. Don't get too high on these games, man. It's, enjoy it. But, flush it out. Get ready for the next one. It comes so fast. You just got to be ready for, that next game. Yeah, it's going to be an adjustment. We can't expect them to miss shots that they missed. I thought they did miss some easy ones and some open ones. So, we can't be too high. Just kind of stay even keeled.
And hit first.
Stay mellow.
Hit first.
When in doubt.
Hit first.
When in doubt.
But we appreciate you, PG, for stopping by. Of course, this game.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull-Up Show. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Matthews, a.k.a. B. Just before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. All of our YouTube videos, hit that like button. Y'all come in here to share, subscribe, hit that Venmo at BJ/MATHWS/1 is our Venmo. If you guys don't have Venmo, that's perfectly fine. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast. PayPal, BJ Matthews 23 on the right-hand side, right top-hand corner. Like I said, continuously show y'all love to the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast. Continuously show your love to the, the #1 podcast in these YouTube streets, man. We are back at it, man. I apologize for being gone for a few days, but we are back at it. We're almost done with the first round, but I had to touch on this video, and going to be another video that's going to be dropping about the Nuggets and Timberwolves. Y'all going to enjoy that one. But I want to first say this is a pre-recorded video. This is not a live, so you guys, know the drill. I won't be probably going live until actually the first round, all the games are over, because it really, to my sense, is like I might as well just do like one whole video or live when everybody gets a chance to come in and speak. And we talk about all the, playoff rounds, all the playoff games in the first round series. And, we get everybody's input like barbershop talk. It don't really make sense to do a series live here, a series live there. Just like, let's wait till the rounds are over and we can talk about round one. So, like I said, this is pre-recorded, but let's get into it, man. The Sixers prevailed over the Boston Celtics, and they will be pushing a Game 7 on Saturday. And wow, what a game! What a game it's been! What a series it's been! This is going to be the first Game 7 so far that we have. Of course, the Nuggets lost to the Timberwolves. We're going to talk about that in another video. I'm going to talk about that series loss. You got the Pistons and the Magic. You're going to see what happens to them tomorrow. Lakers and Rockets, we'll see if there's a Game 7 tomorrow. But the Sixers and Celtics, there will be a Game 7. There will be a Game 7 on Saturday in Beantown in Boston. So let's talk about what happened tonight in Philly, the city of brotherly love. The Sixers prevail 106-93. And man, was it a performance by the Sixers from start to finish. They controlled the momentum. They made sure to get up and down the court. They hit timely shots. They played great defense. And it was a team effort where everybody came to play and made a difference on the court. So let's first look at some of the numbers real quick in this Game 6 victory by the Sixers. The Celtics, 76. Let's go through this real quickly. Field goal percentage, 42-44 goes to the Sixers. 3-point percentage, 33-29 goes to the Sixers. Free throw percentage, 89-56 goes to the Sixers. Rebounds, 46-48 goes to the Sixers. Assists, 18-22 go to the Sixers. Steals are 7 apiece. Blocks, 6-3 goes to the Sixers. Total turnovers, 12-13 goes to the Sixers. They had one less turnover than the Boston Celtics. Points in the paint, 42-40 goes to the Celtics. Fouls committed, 18-15 goes to the Sixers. They had 3 less fouls than the Boston Celtics, 18. The largest lead for the Sixers was 23. The largest lead for the Celtics was 5. And the percentage lead for the Celtics was as high as 8. And the Celtics 76 was 86%. So as y'all can see from start to finish, from up and down, from category to category, the Sixers pretty much won 85 to 90% of every category on the team stats. And when you do that, it's pretty much as good as done as far as them getting the victory. So Sixers did well. All they did what they're supposed to do. They're going to be pushing this game to a Game 7. Let's look at the full box score, the individual numbers really quick. And like I said, when y'all come in here, make sure y'all smash that like button. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's look at the Celtics really quick. What happened with them? Off the bench, you got Nikola Vucevic in 14 minutes had 2 points, 1 for 5 from the field, 0 for 2 from the 3-point line. You got also Peyton Pritchard, 14 points, 6 for 16 from the field, 1 for 8 from the 3-point line. Luke Garza, 9 points, 4 for 5 from the field, 1 for 2 from the 3-point line. Pritchard also had 5 assists and 3 rebounds. So a total what is this? 14, 9. That's going to be 23. Let me see if I can do math. 25, 27, 30, 35. 38 points off the bench. And a lot of the guys that came off the bench for the Celtics were done in the last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter. So do not let the amount of bench points by the Celtics fool y'all. A lot of those points were accumulated during garbage time. If we look at the starters, you got Sam Hauser scoring 5 points in 21 minutes. Not much of a performance there. 4 rebounds, 2 for 6 from the field, 1 for 5 from the 3-point line. Derek White continuously struggles in this series. In 32 minutes, he has 11 points, 3 for 8 from the field, 3 for 6 from the 3-point line, 2 for 2 from the free throw, with just two turnovers and 3 steals. Not making much of an impact scoring the ball. Derek White has yet to have a big scoring game. I think he ain't even scored over 15 points and won a game yet. You got Neemias Queta, 4 points, 2 for 5 from the field, 11 rebounds. And then the 2 J's, you got Jason Tatum with 29 minutes, had 17 points, 6 for 13 from the field, 2 for 6 from the 3-point line, 3 for 5 from the free throw, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 turnovers. And then you got Jaylen Brown with 18 points, 7 for 17 from the field, 2 for 6 from the 3-point line, 2 for 6 from the free throw, and 2 assists and 5 turnovers. So the Celtics did not have a single person over 20 points. And you had their star players, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. One guy who got injured did not return for like the entire fourth and some of the third quarter. And then you had the other guy, Jaylen Brown, who was in foul trouble early on, and it continuously, continued throughout the rest of the game. And Joe Mazzulla decided to just basically pull the plug and keep those 2 guys out for the fourth quarter. And yeah, the Celtics just was not their night at all. If we go to the Philadelphia 76ers side, bench production, you got Justin Edwards, Andre Drummond, and Quentin Grimes all had 2 points apiece. Quentin Grimes, who had a good game 5, did not really shoot the ball good in game 6, 1 for 6 from the 3-point from the field and over 3 from the 3-point line with 3 rebounds and just 2 assists. You had Andre Drummond, who had a putback with 2 points. He had 7 rebounds, though. Andre Drummond in 13 minutes had 7 rebounds. You had Justin Edwards in 10 minutes, had 2 points and 5 rebounds and 2 turnovers. And then you had a Demobona, Kyle Lowry, Trent Watford, Dallin Terry all in the game. They all played at least 1 minute. That's just how bad the blowout was. And then you look at the starters for the Sixers. You got Paul George, Embiid, Kelly Oubre, Tyrese Maxey, and BJ Edgecombe. BJ Edgecombe in 38 minutes had 14 points, 5 for 11 from the field, 1 for 6 from the 3-point line, 3 for 3 from the free throw. Perfect. 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 blocks. You got Kelly Oubre with a great, good game, 39 minutes, 14 points, 6 for 11 from the field, 1 for 3 from the 3-point line, 2 for 2 from the 1 for 2 from the free throw, with 9 big boy rebounds, 3 turnovers, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Very good game from Kelly Oubre all around. You had Joel Embiid coming off a 33-point game performance in Game 5, had a good, solid, but not efficient scoring night, but he did have 19 points and 10 rebounds. Shot 6 for 18 from the field, 1 for 5 from the 3-point line, 6 for 7 from the free throw. But he did control the flow of the game by not getting out of control and choosing to, give the ball to the players that were actually hot tonight, which was Tyrese Maxey and Paul George. Tyrese Maxey in 40 minutes had 30 points, led all scorers, 11 for 22 from the field, 50%, 3 for 5 from the 3-point line, 5 for 5 from the free throw, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. Tyrese Maxey, since Game 5, has played, in my personal opinion, his best basketball, controlling the game, not getting out of character, taking care of the basketball, had 0 turnovers tonight, right? Shot efficient from the field, right? Scored in timely spots of the game. Where Boston would try to cut to the lead, here comes Tyrese Maxey with a big 3. Here comes Tyrese Maxey with a pull-up J. Here comes Tyrese Maxey getting into the lane, right? Tyrese Maxey has been very, very, in my personal opinion, efficient the last couple games. I think he's been very, mature. He's basically had a great floor game, and it's played dividends for the Sixers because when he is playing under control, but he's also attacking, being aggressive, that's another gear the Sixers can play in because you have the fastest guy on the court with the ball in his hands, tearing your defense to shreds if you're Boston. But the man of the hour, the guy that controlled the game, the guy that did it on both ends of the court, the person that has been the best player in the series, that person is Paul George, who had 23 points, 8 for 17 from the field, 5 for 9 from the 3-point line, 2 for 2 from the free throw, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He did have 4 turnovers, but he had 2 steals and 1 block. And he has been on a tear on both ends of the court. And we're going to talk about it. Yes, we are going to definitely talk about it. Paul George has been the best player in the Sixers-Celtics series thus far. Now, I'm going to talk about, first off, what I saw and what I've been seeing in these first 6 games. And I'm going to talk about what I've been seeing from Paul George of what he's been doing. I think people are going to really take heed to what I'm saying. First thing is, you guys know that I had the Sixers beating the Celtics in 7 games, starting the series out, right? A lot of people, I think the odds were 98% to 2%. The bracket y'all saw me fill out in the video where I made my playoff predictions. I think this was the widest margin in the whole bracket. No one gave Philly a chance. Of course, you had, people talk about Joel Embiid being out. I had a video about Joel Embiid in Game 2 when I said the Sixers can beat the Celtics without Joel Embiid. Now, people may ask, do I still feel that way? Yes and no. Because here's the thing. Just like the Sixers had Joel Embiid in Game 5, they won. They had Joel Embiid. They didn't have Joel Embiid in Game 6, and they won. Right? In Game 3, they could have won that game. Obviously, a few, decisions that, were more timely on the Boston side. So that's a game Joel Embiid didn't play. And the Sixers pretty much had a chance to, beat them that game. Embiid comes back in Game 4, and while individually the numbers were there, the impact was not, and they had to change up their entire way of playing when they brought Embiid back. Of course, the style of play changed. They slowed the ball down. Embiid was trying to, he had to be the center of attention, take the most shots. He was, start off the game, I think 1 for 8. Right? So he wasn't good on the defensive end. He couldn't guard the pick and roll. And Boston, I think that was the biggest one. I think if that was bigger than Game 1, it was a blowout. Right? So people ask, well, do I feel like they could still use Embiid? Yeah. Because after Game 5, Joel Embiid played the way he was supposed to play, which is on the block and play more inside. In the first half, he was chucking up them 3-point shots. He couldn't hit a shot. He still is inefficient from the 3-point line, which is telling you that he should probably take more of his shots inside. Right? Game 5 was a prime example. When Joel Embiid chooses to play how he's supposed to play, Philly becomes an entirely different team. I don't know why the life of me, this guy does not choose to take advantage of his size. The man's the biggest person in the whole damn arena, and he thinks that he has to chill and hang out on the 3-point line like he's a 6'4" guard. This man is 7'2". They list him at 280. That man is over 300 pounds. And for the life of me, it took Nick Nurse all but 5.5 games to let this man know that he's 7'2". So when you take and put your back into the defender, Neemias Queta, Nikola Vucevic, call for the ball inside the post, off the block, and you just continuously score, you look back and say, damn, why was I on the 3-point line trying to be small like the rest of them? I'm the biggest person. I'm unique. I'm a unicorn. Right? That's who Joel Embiid is. So he starts getting some easy dump-ins inside, some easy layups, a couple of dunks. Then he starts to slowly expand his game into the little mid-range, shooting a little push shot in the key, shooting a little pick and pop shot inside the mid-range. Taking his time, getting more comfortable, shooting those pull-up J's with it going left, starting in and then going out. Right? Joel Embiid playing like that put Boston in a position where now they have to make a decision. Because, see, people were so quick to just tell Boston like they were just all this whole world team, right? Well, see, this is why I say people need to stop listening to the media so much. Because the more I think about it, the more I say to myself, the media is a lot of clickbait. A lot of them really do not. A lot of them are wrong most of the time. Stephen A. Smiths, Kendrick Perkins, Mad Dog Russo, Skip Bayless. Hell, even some of the guys on those podcasts, they don't really take time to really study the game. They're too busy doing shows. They're too busy on the air throughout the week. They don't have time to sit back and just really scout a game. So when you hear stuff like Boston is supposed to, destroy Philly because Boston has the championship pedigree and they're so experienced and this, not quite. When you look at the 4 top guys, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, and Derek White, you see 2 stars, which is Tatum and Brown, of course. You see Derek White, who's struggling right now, who they're trying to promote as an all-star, but he is not an all-star. He did make the Olympic team, but we all know that Jaylen Brown didn't make it. And quote unquote, it was more about fit than who was the better player. So not to take anything away from Derek White because he is an Olympic gold medalist, but the fact that he was able to get in as on the Olympic team was by pushing Jaylen Brown out the door. We all know what that was about. And then you got Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench, not starting, coming off the bench. A 6'1", undersized shooting guard masquerading as a point guard masquerading as a shooting guard, who's unathletic. He is quick. He does have a nice jump shot. He does know how to use his body, but at the end of the day, he is still 6'1". Going up against a 6'5" athletic beast, young in VJ Edgecombe, who tends to, in my personal opinion, overwhelm Pritchard because with his size and athleticism and his energy as well. Because you got to think, Pritchard has a lot of energy. Well, VJ has just as much energy, right? I got to give a shout out to VJ Edgecombe. VJ Edgecombe, when I first seen him, and not really so much, I didn't have faith in him as far as a player. I just know that he wasn't going to be looked at as a star right now. And he's still a guy that's playing a role. See, they're trying to put VJ Edgecombe as a star player. He's not a star player yet, at least offensively. He had a great game too, but after that game too, he's been inefficient from the three-point. I think he was at shooting like 23% from the three-point line, right? Missing open three-point shots. Even in game 2, a lot of his shots were wide open because of the attention Tyrese Maxey was getting, Paul George was getting. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the attention was going to them, so he left VJ Edgecombe open for more quality, better shots. Right? So all these things play a part into what we're seeing. So you got 4 of those guys on Boston, and you look at the rest of their roster. If I was to pull this up, Boston Celtics, you got Neemias Queta, right? Neemias Queta right here. Starting center. If y'all look at Neemias Queta right here, he's averaging 10 points, 8 rebounds, 1.7 assists, 65% from the field, right? And we're looking at the regular season, but we always say what? The postseason is different. If you look at his postseason performance, we're talking about how deep Boston is, right? He's been to the postseason 3 times, including this year. His high, right, this is his first time playing over at 19 minutes. The first 2 times with Boston, he barely played. He was pretty much third string. He was pretty much the third string center. So this is his first opportunity to even get real valuable minutes. This is your starting center for Boston. This isn't Kristaps Porzingis. This isn't Al Horford. This isn't Robert Williams. This is Neemias Queta, who is still finding his way. Neemias Queta, who was a second-round pick in the 2021 draft. This doesn't seem like a player that has much playoff experience. But if you continuously down their roster, I'm talking about Boston, let's look at Luke Garza. Luke Garza averaging 8 points per game, 4 rebounds, 57% from the field. He is known as to be a very good stretch shooter with some toughness inside of him. As y'all come to, make sure y'all smash that like button. If you look at Luke Garza's career in the postseason, he's played for the Minnesota Timberwolves. He played on the same team that made it to the conference finals 2 years in a row. Well, none of y'all knew who Luke Garza was because he didn't get no playing time. Right? He wasn't on the court with Anthony Edwards. He wasn't on the court with Karl Anthony Towns, with Julius Randle, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Mike Conley, Jaden McDaniels. Right? He wasn't on the court with those guys in the playoffs. Kyle Anderson, you know what I'm saying, Naz Reid, Dante DiVincenzo. He wasn't on the court with them. You guys didn't know who Luke Garza was. but he is apparently their backup center or their backup forward. He's getting 7 minutes. This is his first time getting any minutes. 7 minutes is still considered damn near third string, but he's part of their rotation, right? So you got Neemias Queta, you got Luke Garza outside of the big four in Boston. Well, let's continue because they have a 10-man rotation, right? That's what I keep hearing about this Boston Celtics team. They have such a big rotation. Let's continuously go down the list, right? Jaylen Brown, Luke Garza. You got Ron Harper Jr., that's third string. Hugo Gonzalez is third string. Let's look at Sam Hauser. Sam Hauser averaging 9 points a game, 3.8 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 41% from the field. If you look at Sam Hauser right here, and we look at the postseason, we don't even try to even worry about the regular season. So Sam Hauser right now in the playoffs with Boston, this is his first time starting in any games. This is his first time even averaging over 15 minutes in a playoff series, in a playoff run. Right? For the Celtics, he has a career high averaging 3.8 points per game. This is a guy known for his three-point shooting, to be another stretch big. He is their starting power forward. He is their starting power forward. Like I said, this isn't Robert Williams. This isn't Al Horford. This is Kristaps Porzingis. Sam Hauser in his fourth season is their starting power forward. Right? Let's keep going. Let's keep going down this roster, right? Let's go down the roster of Boston that's, is essentially deep. You already took care of Peyton Pritchard, Neemias Queta. Let's look at this Baylor Shireman guy, the one with the hair, right? Baylor Shireman, 5.5 points per game, 45% from the field. And if you look at what he has done so far, he's only been in the league for 2 years, according to this. 2024, he came in, right? Postseason. Baylor Shireman played 4 games last year in the playoffs, 5 minutes per game, at 2 points per game. This year he's averaging 12 minutes per game, right? 5 points per game. He is known as a shooter, 46% from the field right now, and a hustler, right? Averaging 2.2 rebounds. So this would be their starting, or this is their backup 3. This is their second string small forward. So you got your second string small forward with Baylor Shireman. You got your second string guard in point guard in Peyton Pritchard. You got your starting power forward in Sam Hauser. You got your starting center in Neemias Queta. So I want y'all to see what are y'all seeing with these players? Luke Garza, their backup forward. What are y'all seeing with these players outside of the 4 guys I named with Tatum, Brown, White, and Pritchard? Now we got Nikola Vucevic, who's averaging 15 points per game, 8.4 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 49% from the field. Right? Now, Nikola Vucevic, we know who he is. Nikola Vucevic has been in the league for quite some time. He's been in the league for a little over a decade. If you look at his playoff stats, he's been in the playoffs, 5 times. So he's put up some numbers in the playoffs. You see right here, look at this, 11 points per game, 11.2 points per game with Orlando, 28 points per game in Orlando in 2018-2019, 28 points per game, 19.4 points per game with Chicago. Now he's averaging 7 points per game in 5 games. He was playing 29 minutes, 37, 36. Now he's at 20 minutes. So you got to ask yourself, damn, what happened? This is their backup 5. Nikola Vucevic has more experience than Neemias Queta, Baylor Shireman, Luke Garza, Sam Hauser. He has more playoff experience, but yet he's coming off the bench, and he's only giving you 20 minutes a game with 7 points per game. A huge dip to his regular numbers within the last 3 seasons. Or 2 seasons, I'm sorry. Never been out the first round. So I say that to say this. If you're telling me the Celtics have all this experience, this championship experience, you got to tell me who are the players that have it. Because Nikola Vucevic, as y'all can see, has been nothing but a first-round exit. Luke Garza, right? Baylor Shireman, Sam Hauser, Neemias Queta, right? Even you got, I forgot the other guy. Hold on. We're looking at another player. Let me pull him up real quick. Because, you know, Boston goes 10 deep, right? I'm forgetting another guy. Mr. Jordan Walsh. Right? Jordan Walsh. Defensive guy who backs up Derek White. As y'all can see right here. Jordan Walsh in the playoffs. First two seasons averaged 3 minutes a game. Right? This is his first time averaging double-digit minutes, 13 minutes per game, averaging 1.8 points per game. We don't even need to yell out the shooting percentages or nothing like that because the man's in there for defense. But my point is, I'm saying Boston does not have a championship team. First of all, one thing I'm noticing with Boston, and I've heard Peyton Pritchard say this, they have gotten too comfortable. Right? This isn't Drew Holiday. This isn't Marcus Smart. The Celtics, I think a lot of people have ranked them higher than what they should be ranked. I think a lot of people look at that regular season seeding and say to themselves, they're gonna destroy the Sixers. Because what do I say all the time about playoffs, you guys? It's not about your seeding, it's about your what? It's about the match up. How well do you match up with the opposing team? Your personnel, your coaching, right? Lineups, style of play, all these things, how you match up mano y mano. Throw the seeds away. You got Orlando up and on the brink of eliminating Detroit Pistons, who are number 1. If that don't tell y'all that seeding don't mean anything, little to nothing, I don't know what does. When you have a team that has a way of matching up with you, that seeding goes out the door, out the window. So what do you have right now? You got a Sixer team that knows that they can match up with the Boston Celtics. And now that you have a Game 7 in Boston, let me first tell y'all something I saw in Game 6. I saw Boston quit. Boston quit. They didn't want nothing more left with Philly. They got beat into submission. They got out rebounded. They got out hustled. The shots were not falling for Boston. The other thing with Boston, I know a lot of people I've already started to realize. They did. They realized it now. Boston, if they're not making 3-point shots, They're pretty. They're very. They turn very human. Somehow people think making shots means you have talent. Now, yeah, making shots mean you have skill. But this notion that Boston was just head and shoulders over Philly and they had a better team and they're more talented, I think people need to look more deeper into that roster I just named out. Because what you have is a bunch of young, inexperienced players who look like they're trying to get their foot through the door, who are trying to make a name for themselves. And they're in a position they ain't been before. So when you got a team like Philly, who's had guys who has more experience, guys like Quentin Grimes who've been to the playoffs, right? Let's look at what Philly has done. And we're going to get into the topic. Look at Philly. Let's look at some of the players they have as far as playoff experience, because that's what this is all about. There's a game 7 that's less than 48 hours. Palms are going to be sweaty, and there's going to be players who ain't been in this situation, and they're not going to. We'll see if they rise to the occasion. So when you look at the Sixers roster and match it up with Boston's, Dominic Barlow, Marshawn Beauchamp, we know that they're not very, very experienced players. Dembona got some run in this playoff, but we know that he reverted back to the third-string center after Embiid came back. Johnny Brony, Brume, the first 4 guys we could just scratch out. Let's go to the backup center for the Sixers. Andre Drummond, been in the league for quite some time, like Nikola Vucevic. If we look at the playoffs, because that's what we're looking for as the postseason, Andre Drummond has been in 5 playoffs with 5 different teams, or 4 different teams. And you guys can see the production he has put up, right? 32 minutes, 31 minutes, 21 minutes, 15 minutes, and 17 minutes. You guys see the points he's put up, 16, 14, 9, 3. This year, 6, right? Rebounds, 9 rebounds, 13, 11, 3, 4.6, right? He's been to the playoffs multiple times, but he hasn't been past the first round. Very similar to Nikola Vucevic. Very similar. So we can match him up with Nikola Vucevic as far as playoff experience. It's there, but it's not deep. Pause. So that's one player that has playoff experience. You got Andre Drummond. VJ Edgecombe, we know he's a rookie. Justin Edwards, we know that he's still, kind of getting his feet in there. We know Embiid and Paul George. Let's look at their playoff experience. Because, again, actually, no, that we don't need to look at theirs. Let's call that Tatum and Brown right there. Embiid's been to the playoffs multiple times. Never made out the second round, but he's Joel Embiid. Paul George been to 3 conference finals. Has deep history in the playoffs. But we're looking at some of the guys around to show who has more playoff. Look at Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes, a player that I've supported since he came to the Clippers. I started watching Grimes really closely when he was in Dallas. A very, very upbeat scorer, right? Who can score and shoot, spread the floor. Started off in New York. Let's look at what Quentin Grimes has been in the postseason. He's had 1 postseason run with the New York Knicks, right? He averaged 26 minutes in that playoff run. He's averaging 21 minutes right now. He averaged 5 points per game in his first run with the Knicks. He's averaged 9 points per game with the Sixers right now. So, not deep playoff run. He did make it to past the first round, right? That year when they beat the Sixers, I believe. Or was it the Sixers? Who was it that they beat? They got to the second round. I think that was the year they faced the Pacers. Or no, that wasn't the year. That was the next year. But Grimes has at least 1 year playoff experience being a rotational player, right? If you was to match up that anywhere with Boston don't have that. You probably could just say Pritchard. Pritchard say matches Grimes off the bench and been with the team that's played in the finals. But Garza, what I'm saying, Shireman, Walsh, those players, they didn't even touch the floor. Even Kata, they're starting center. Neemias Queta, this is his first time ever getting past double-digit minutes. Again, we're talking about experience. Boston has all this championship experience. But when you match up Philly's roster with Andre Drummond, Joel Embiid, Paul George, Quentin Grimes, Tyrese Maxey, right? Let's look at Kelly Oubre. You look at Kelly Oubre, what he has played and what teams he has played with in the playoffs. Their starting small forward, Kelly Oubre, been to the playoffs 4 times. 2 times with Washington, 2 times with the Sixers. As y'all can see, his first playoff stint made it to the second round. He's put up real playoff minutes. Look at that. 15 minutes, 24 minutes, 37 minutes in 23-24, 33 minutes this year. Right? Known as a guy who has taken the challenge of guarding Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So that's another playoff player. So you got what? Let's look at this real quick. And we're going to get into the actual title. You got Andre Drummond. You got Joel Embiid, Paul George, Quentin Grimes, Tyrese Maxey, and Kelly Oubre, who all have substantial playoff experience. And you compare that to Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, and Nikola Vucevic, who really has the playoff experience. Now, you could say Boston has been playing together longer, but it's not 4-on-4. It's not 4-on-5. It's 5-on-5 with a bench of guys that you have that are not ready for this moment. They're going to play hard. They're going to play tough. But when you match them up and you say when the bench shrinks from 10 to 9, 9 to 8, 8 to 7 guys, now it's about the starters and about 2 guys off that bench. And when you go from top to bottom, you got about 6 to 7 guys in Philly that have played in the playoffs, played heavy minutes, and made big contributions to their teams. And you compare that to 4 guys on Boston, and you might put Vucevic in there 4.5, 5. The playoff experience is on the Sixers side. That's why I wanted to say basically that the Sixers have the momentum right now to win this series. They have to shut the door on Saturday. And as long as they play steady, they will win. Jason Tatum right now, we don't know what's up with his injury. He did not return back to the game. But even with Tatum on the court, the Sixers have beat them with Tatum on the court 3 times. One of them without Embiid. So like I've told people before, no one should really be surprised at what's happening right now. But based off of the greatness of Joel Embiid and how great Tyrese Maxey has been, I think Tyrese Maxey took another step up to be closer to be one of them top 5 point guards in the league, because he has shown a sense of maturity within the last couple games that I did not see in the first 4 games, even in the game where him and VJ Edgecombe went off. I don't know if it's because Joel Embiid's on the court and he's choosing to, settle down or what, but I'm seeing a level of awareness and timing from Tyrese Maxey that he's really dictating and quarterbacking the game. VJ Edgecombe, the young stallion, getting up and down the court, throwing energy, like PG said, showing a level of readiness in the game. Despite all that, we have to talk about who the best player has been in this series, and it's been Paul George. Paul George has been the best player in this series. Now, people may say, well, how could you say that, BJ? He's not averaging the most points. He's not, the number one option. And, he's past his prime and he's not this, he's not that. I can hear I can hear it now. Right. And like I said, we still got another game left. If we look at the players who you guys would say is the best in the series, who would y'all say? Some of y'all would say Tyrese Maxey. Some of y'all would say Joel Embiid. If you were looking at Boston, you might say it was Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. Let's look at some of the players that you guys might say are the best, who have played the best basketball, and then we could go from there. And let me show y'all what I look at as to who I look as the best player. Let's start from the ground and go up. Let's start off with VJ Edgecombe. VJ Edgecombe is averaging 13 points per game, 7 rebounds, 2.8 assists. I must say with VJ Edgecombe, like I mentioned before, I'm very, very impressed and I'm very pleased with VJ Edgecombe because, first of all, what I love about him the most is that he's humble, but I also love his way of playing basketball. He is a player that has winning intangibles. He gets second chance opportunities. He runs the floor hard. He's not scared of anything, right? He's a confident player. Even when the shots are not falling, he still takes them, or he still is aggressive somewhat. He plays both ends of the basketball, and vice versa. He doesn't take away from his teammates. And this is his first year playing in the playoffs. Like I said, even though Cooper Flagg won the Rookie of the Year, which I think he is the more decorated player, VJ he might end up being better than Cooper Flagg in the future because I can see him developing in ways that Cooper Flagg may not. He has winning intangibles. So people say after game 2, I was hearing people saying VJ should be the second option with Maxey. And I said, now you're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Because you got to look at how he scored the points he had. And number 2, how consistent is he throughout the series? Well, if we look at something like his shooting splits, he's shooting 40% from the field, 26% from the three. Now, he is shooting 87% from the line. But that 40% and that 26% shows y'all she's not a good shooter yet. He still has holes in his game. And that's fine because as a rookie, he's already overachieved, exceeded expectations. But as far as being a second option, nah, he can't even be a second option. Not on this team. He can't. He's not even the third option. There's 3 guys getting paid the supermax right now, or getting paid the max. You have to put it on them to be the first, second, and third option. VJ could come in, and like I said, his impact to me, he's one of them players. His impact ain't gonna be met on scoring. It's gonna be based off of making winning plays. He could score in transition. He can run the floor. He can dunk on you, right? He can do all that. But until he fixes that jump shot and gets more comfortable with that, he's not going to be able to be a second or third option right now, particularly this time. Not on a championship team. So VJ Edgecombe, not the best player in the series. Let's look at a couple people over on the Boston side. Let's look at Jason Tatum. Tatum is averaging 23 points per game, 10.7 rebounds, 6.8 assists in 6 games versus the Celtics. Jason Tatum coming back from this Achilles injury. I am still in shock how he looks and how he's playing, how he was able to get back from that injury like how he did. It just speaks to his dedication to the game, right? How well he takes care of his body, and also his love and determination to play. Right? So shout out to Jason Tatum. Like I said, he's averaging 23 points, 10 assists, 6.8 assists, 10.7 rebounds, 1.2 steals per game. Shooting splits of 47.5, 36.5, and 78% from the field. Now, see, this is where I look at things and kind of look at it like, for a player of his caliber, these shooting splits are not elite. The rebounding is elite. The steals assists is very good. The steals, I would say, is pretty close to elite. Points per game is low. Points per game, you guys look at Jason Tatum throughout his career, he's up on the higher 20s in the playoffs. This series is at 23.3. That's telling me he's not fully there yet. And it's also telling me that he's allowing his co-star to take majority of the offense over. Right? So people say, well, Tatum's been the best player in the series. Well, I don't see nothing dominated out of the rebounding from him. Everything else is pretty just, steady. So I wouldn't say Tatum's the best player, but we could keep that in our back pocket. Let's look at somebody else. Let's look at his co-star, Jaylen Brown, real quick. Right? So surely Jaylen Brown, All-NBA first team. Like I said, I had the All-NBA first team. I had this guy as the MVP. This is the guy I looked at as the MVP this year. Jaylen Brown averaging 24.5 points per game, 5.2 rebounds, and 3.2 assists. His raw numbers surprisingly ain't as good as Jason Tatum's as far as the rebounding and the assists, but, that's fine. This is a duo with these two. So Jaylen Brown, his series high is 36 points, which was in game 2. He has shooting splits of 45.7, 42.4, and 67.5. Again, just like Tatum, his shooting splits are not elite. As a matter of fact, they're a little bit worse than Tatum's. See, to be the best player in the series, you can't have such a flaw or such a hole in your performance. It can't be you have such a flaw in something. 45.7, 42.4, and 67.5 are below average shooting splits. And for a player of Jaylen Brown's caliber, that's a big deal. That means a lot of points are being left on the floor. And that's also meaning the opposing team has a player that is giving you a lot of resistance, which we're going to talk about in a minute. The three-point shooting is very good, but the field goal is average, and the 67.5 from the free throw is below average. So when people say Jaylen Brown's been the best player, especially after these last couple games, Boston's looked at it right now. None of those two have been playing up to how they're supposed to play. That can well change in game 7, but over the last couple games, especially Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have been anything but superstar level. There's even been games like the one in game 4, Peyton Pritchard. You could say he was the best player on the court that game, just like VJ was the best player in game 2. Based off the shot making, as far as when it was happening, all those things, you could say that was Peyton Pritchard. Let's keep going. I'm not going to say Joel Embiid because Joel Embiid hasn't played a full series yet. So for me, like I said, to be the best player in the series, you got to play pretty much the entirety of the series. And Joel Embiid missed the first 3 games. Let's look at Tyrese Maxey. So Tyrese Maxey averaging 26.3 points per game, 6.5 assists, and 3.8 rebounds in 6 games versus the Celtics. Like I said, over the last couple games, Tyrese Maxey has shown a lot of poise and a lot of control. Right? Take a look at the first 3 games and compare that to the last 3 games. If you look at his field goal percentage, first game 40%, second game 39%, third game 38%. The next 3 games, you got 50%, 55, and 50. First 3 games shooting, you have 25, 41, 38. Last 3, you have 57, 30, and 60. Tyrese Maxey over the last 3 games has played very under control. And especially tonight, he controlled the game. He leads the series in scoring. Y'all know Tyrese Maxey, that's what he does. He scores the basketball. So people will say this is the best player off of that single stat, scoring. Now, here's the thing about that. You can, I understand people saying Tyrese Maxey, best player in the series so far. But I still look beyond the offensive end of the ball. He has been elite. But there's still something will even keep me from saying Tyrese Maxey was the best player in the series. If we look at the best player in the series and the guy that has been the smooth point, has been the equalizer to everything and been clutch, it's been Paul George. Now, PG averaging 18.2 points per game, 4.2 rebounds, 3.3 assists in 6 games versus the Celtics so far. Now, people will look at these raw numbers and be like, well, shit, that ain't much. That's those are good. I mean, those are good, but those are not. How could you say he's the best player? He's not putting up the productions, the stat production. Well, when you look at everything, you say to yourself, well, Paul George, they've given him the third option, whatever role, basically saying that he has to be the guy third in line to take the most shots. Outside of tonight because of how, hot he was and how he got on the court. But outside of, that, he's having to wait his turn beyond Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. Fine. If you look at some of the other numbers, his field goal percentage, 48% from the field, 54% from 3, 77% from the line. Right? So let's look at something real quick. There's a couple stats I want to share with you guys really quick. That's going to back up what I'm saying. That's going to be like very, very important. I want y'all to listen to me real quick. All right. So like I said, I want to share a couple stats with you guys, and I'm going to go from there and get a little bit deeper. But this right here is what you call most points per possession on ISOs in the 2025-26 playoffs, right? Paul George leads all active players on points per possession on ISO. So, according to this, when Paul George has the basketball and he's being guarded, right, against no matter who it is, he is the most successful when it comes to scoring the basketball. I'm going to say that again. According to this stat, most points per possession on ISOs. So when Paul George is single covered against anybody, he is the most successful in the NBA with scoring the basketball over De'Aaron Fox, Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, Jaylen Brown, Jonathan Kuminga, who just got eliminated tonight, Marcus Smart, Victor Wembanyama, and James Harden, who is an ISO player in itself. Paul George leads all active players in this stat. Very important stat. Why is that? Because when the game becomes half court, when a play breaks down, and you need to give the ball in somebody's hands to make timely buckets, Paul George is showing he is that guy, a player that you need in playoff basketball. Right? So he leads all active scorers, and there is a lot of stars on this list. So it's a very important stat. Let's look a little bit deeper into this one right here. Best three-point percentage in 2025-26 NBA playoffs. Minimum of 15 total three-pointers have to be attempted within the playoffs to be on this list. This was going into Game 6. Paul George has the highest three-point percentage out of anybody in the league. You got Ayo Dosunmu at 54.4, Rui Hachimura at 52.6. I'm sorry, Dosunmu at 54.5, OG Anunoby at 52.4, Onyeka Okoronkwo at 50%, Dante DiVincenzo at 47.8, Jaylen Brown at 47.8, Miles McBride at 47.6, RJ Barrett at 47.6, Alex Caruso at 47.1. So outside of PG, who has at 58.8, and Jaylen Brown at 47.8, everybody on this list is a role player. Meaning what? A lot of these guys are getting their three-point shots off of the gravity of a star player giving them the basketball, feeding them. This guy, who's a star in itself, is creating his own offense, scoring in ISOs, like I just mentioned, while also scoring on three-point baskets, pull-up shots, and still the most efficient three-point shooter in the league. This is a list he's not supposed to even be on, because as y'all can see, there's no stars on this list outside of Jaylen Brown. Because when you're quote unquote getting attention, when you're a teammate who's a star getting attention over you, a lot of these guys are getting wide open shots. Paul George is getting swarmed and he's getting challenged. He's getting, having to get attention brought onto him. And he still has a good cushion over the top nine guys as far as this stat. This just goes to show you how efficient he is. He's shooting 54% from the three right now, which leads the Sixers in three-point percentage. Those are very important to stay efficient, to be able to score when your team needs a bucket. Those are two things that the Sixers desperately needed. You got Joel Embiid, who can score in a timely manner and probably score as timely as anybody. Like I said, he's been hurt for 3 games. So who was the other guy making them timely baskets? It was Paul George in Game 2, right? Timely three-point shots. Starting the game off with 2 post-ups. Tyrese Maxey, he can score, but the thing about his shots are more tougher shots because of his size. Ain't no post-ups really for Tyrese Maxey. He's needing picks and screens to get defenders off him, right? He's going full speed into the basket, taking contact, right? He will occasionally pull up and shoot mid-ranges, and we'll know he'll shoot threes, but for the most part, Tyrese Maxey's points are, tend to be tougher, right? Paul George could kind of, pick and choose because he's 6'9". He can walk you down to the post and just, turn around, shoot over you, take his time. You know what I'm saying? He could, he has enough range to shoot long distance threes, and he has enough length where the defender won't bother his shot. Those are the differences. But the offensive end of the ball is not even the most important end to me. It's not even the most important end to me. Like I said, the offensive side of the ball is not even the most important. It's the defensive side. This is the side why Paul George is a supermax player. This is the side of the ball that gets him paid. See, the issue is a lot of times people want to focus so much on the offense, scoring, and don't want to look at the side that actually wins, which is defense and rebounding. I'm going to show y'all why the Sixers are in the position they are in this series. This is game 5 where the Sixers are able to pull out this win. Paul George has been assigned to Jaylen Brown for the entirety of the series and a little bit of Jason Tatum. Him and Kelly Oubre have been switching off. But for the majority of the series, Jaylen Brown has been as a defensive assignment. So, in game 5, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum combined went 1 for 8 from the field in game 5. For the entirety of the series, Paul George has been assigned to Jaylen Brown defensively. And he has done as good of a job on Jaylen Brown that I've seen anybody do. I have not seen anybody put the clamps on Jaylen Brown and somewhat Jason Tatum since I've been watching them in the league. I'm talking about these are two guys that have been dominant scoring the basketball in the Eastern Conference over the course of the last, 5 seasons? 5-6 seasons? Paul George has Paul George has been quietly shutting down Jaylen Brown. A lot of the points that Jaylen Brown has been scoring have been done on mismatches, seeking out Tyrese Maxey, seeking out VJ Edgecombe. But when he gets a Paul George on him, he's asking for screens. He's throwing up shots, shots trying to get somebody off of him. But the majority of this series, Paul George has been having his way with Jaylen Brown. So I'll come here and smash that like button. And what's crazy is a player of Jaylen Brown's caliber, you don't see him getting shut down like this, but he's been getting shut down by Paul George. According to Sports Illustrated, reporting on the 2026 NBA playoffs, Jaylen Brown struggled when primary guard by Paul George in Game 5, shooting 2 for 10 in that matchup. This defensive effort highlighted George's impact as noted by observers. Right? Jaylen Brown shot 2 for 10 when guarded by Paul George in Game 5. Ladies and gentlemen, I have not seen Jaylen Brown all season, all year, be shut down like this. This guy is top 5 in scoring, averaging close to 30 points per game. He is currently averaging 24 points off of okay efficiency. His point total has dropped drastically. And as y'all can see, when guarded by Paul George, he went 2 for 10 in Game 5. And he's been struggling the whole series. This is what makes Paul George unique. Because let's say Jaylen Brown didn't have any resistance. You're talking about 40-point games, 50-point games, right? You're talking about a guy able to get off, which is going to, of course, help Boston. It's going to hurt the Sixers because they have nobody to slow him down. So you got a guy in Paul George, not only the most offensive efficient player from three-point line, from the field. And don't tell me he ain't shooting the ball, because 18 points per game is still, you're getting enough shots where if you were going to be efficient, then it would show. He's showing that he's being efficient, and he's going to the other side and guarding the opposing team's best player. But here's the catch. The other team's best player can't guard him. According to those statistics and the numbers and the way Paul George scores the basketball, Tatum, Brown, they're taking their swings at Paul George and they can't guard him. And I know people will look at how could that be? Jaylen Brown's supposed to be an All-NBA team player, first team. And Jason Tatum, I know he's come back from injury, but he was supposed to be top 5. You got 2 top 5 players on the same team. How could this be? How could this happen? It's because it's about matchups. Paul George playing better than Jaylen Brown in this series as far as head-to-head is actually not very hard to understand. You got a guy who's 6'9" playing up against a guy who's 6'6". So when Jaylen Brown tries to shoot over Paul George, it's a tough contested shot. You get plays where Jaylen Brown is purposely trying to hit Paul George with his arm and get him off him because he's playing such defense on him, making him frustrated. Jaylen Brown got in foul trouble early today. Frustration fouls. There's nobody on that team that could do what Paul George did to Jaylen Brown. Nobody. There's not nobody in the league that's done nothing that done this to Jaylen Brown. Nobody. Not even Kawhi Leonard did it to him. Which is saying something about Paul George's defense. I don't know what this notion is. This man's defense fell off. If you guys think his defense fell off, you guys haven't been watching this series. He still has his length. He's still 6'9". He still has his reflexes. He still has his foot quickness. He still got his untapped athleticism. He has all that, and he has his intangibles. Paul George has been able to. I've never seen this version of him where he is observing everything, and when he is ready to attack, he's going to do it offensively and defensively. If his team needs a big basket, he'll get it right there. If his team needs a run, he'll get it right there. I think in game 3, he scored 8 points coming out of half. He'll start the game off with, 2 quick baskets just to get their flow going, right? He'll go on a run by himself, hit some, baskets, some big threes. And then he'll go on the other side and give all-out defense when they need it in the fourth quarter in game 5, right? Tonight in game 6, getting Jaylen Brown in foul trouble. These are the things that are winning these series. If you have nobody to resist Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, how are you going to win? Who's going to take on that challenge? People look at scoring all the time and think that makes you the best player. Tyrese Maxey's the best player. You're the best scorer, but you're not the best overall player. Meaning, if you take this man off the court, what do you look like? If you take Paul George out this series, Jaylen Brown's going for 50, Jason Tatum's going for 50. and then you lose. Now that you got Paul George on Jaylen Brown, it changes the series because now Tatum is actually dealing with this injury. We'll see how the severity of it. But Jaylen Brown can't do anything. And he knows it. Deep down, he knows he can't do nothing against Paul George. I saw it right when the series started. Right when the series started, I said, yeah, he cannot do anything. After that game 1, even though Philly got destroyed, I'm watching their matchup head-to-head, and I'm seeing Jaylen Brown asking for screens to get Tyrese Maxey on because he can't score on Paul George. So when the series goes deeper and deeper, and now Tatum is dealing with this injury, Jaylen Brown, you're going to have to score the ball now. And based off of your numbers and based off what you haven't been doing, you have been coming up short. But that's what happens when you have to go up against a 9-time All-Star, right? A top 10 3-point shooter of all time, a borderline top 75 player, and a bona fide first ballot Hall of Famer. Yes, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Remember, I told y'all, just because a person get injured, don't mean that they're washed. People got it twisted when they said PG was done. I don't know what it is about the jokes about him. I don't know what it is, but the jokes are on you now because now you're seeing it in full flex. I've never seen Jaylen Brown get shut down the way I'm seeing him in this series. Paul George deserves a lot of credit. And if Philadelphia wins this series, which I have him winning on Saturday, Paul George will be my MVP. He's literally he's holding his game. This is another thing, too. Oh, he has to be more aggressive. You guys saw it tonight. He was more aggressive. But here's the thing that he made clear. Right after the first game, I remember him saying, it's not about being aggressive. It's about taking what the defense give me. Also, it's also about being a calmness to the team. I'm not going to take away from Tyrese Maxey. I'm not going to take away from Joel Embiid. I'm not going to take away from BJ Edgecombe. I'm not going to take away from Kelly Oubre. I'm not going to take away from Quentin Grimes. I'm going to make sure those guys get comfortable and get confident, and I'll get mine on the back end. He knows he can get what he wants to get, but he's going to do the other things to make sure his teammates are comfortable. And what does that do? It sets the table for the rest of the guys to follow suit. That's leadership. To give up your ego for the betterment of the team. That's security. That is security. And that's taking away your ego. Well done. Well done, PG. A lot of people were laughing at my pick. A lot of people were saying that I was crazy. A lot of people said I was delusional. We'll see who's laughing on Saturday afternoon after the game. And I'm not saying that just to be like, well, they're going to, I don't have a magic time ball. But based off what I'm seeing and now the momentum, all the pressure's on Boston to win now. And like I mentioned, the Celtics don't have the experience nor the talent to just be sitting back and acting like it's no big deal what just happened. So y'all have a good night, or I should say good afternoon when this video drops. Peace.
I'm feeling good, feeling all right tonight. I'm feeling good now, yeah. It's all good in the neighborhood, homies. Yeah, feeling right. I feel good, I feel alright. Cruising through my neighborhood on a warm summer night. I feel good, that's right. I feel good now. It's summer night. Summer days just sitting around, but when the sun goes down, I'll be ready to party.
Call the ruca on the phone, let her know I'm home alone. It's 7:30 and the sun's going down. It's a summer night and the fun's going down. I pick her up and she looks all dolled up. Sitting passenger in my rag and Paula. Yeah, I let her know that she looks beautiful to me. The world's an ugly place, but she is such a sight to see. The kind of woman that would put up a fight for me. The kind that wants to spend the summer nights with me. The temp was 80 and I'm cruising with my lady, playing some Rafi Bagan. Ooh, baby, baby. I see my homeboys and the cruising in the ride with their ladies sitting by their side. People think we look crazy, but I think we look classy. But then again, that's only if you ask me.
Summer days just sitting around, but when the sun goes down, I'll be ready to party. Ain't nothing like them summer nights. Keep the top on drop, all the girls looking hot, hit the photo and we just don't stop. Party until the morning light. Ain't nothing like them summer nights.
My homeboys throwing the backyard boogie, so everybody gets together to unwind, relax, and have a fun time. The DJ spinning, so I grab the mic and be like, ain't nothing like them summer nights. The party's packed with beautiful women and a gang of the homies that wanna get with them. And they'll say anything just to hit them. And it's usually a nice summer night when they did them. I don't know, it must be something in the air. Can't help but have a good time because the feeling is there. To some people, the feeling is rare. They're at the past saying, God damn, I wish I was there. To have a drink, have a token, hook up with someone fine, but the kind that looks up. Gotta keep some pisto in the cup. Party until the sun comes up, but we give up.
Summer days just sitting around, but when the sun goes down, I'll be ready to party. Ain't nothing like them summer nights. Keep the top on drop, all the girls looking hot, hit the photo and we just don't stop. Party until the morning light. Ain't nothing like them summer nights.
Them summer nights can keep a smile on your face. Gotta try to have a good time with your life, otherwise it's just a waste. Either way, I'm gonna party just in case. Like Prince party like it was 99 and 87, 88. I couldn't ask for no better weather. I'm right next to the Pacific, to be specific. The candy paint job glows under the moonlight as I close out my summer night and say goodnight. It's time to put the top up and park it, drop it, unplug the ground, roll up the windows and lock it. Walk in the pad and fall into bed as she lays on my chest to rest her sleepy head. And we do this all night long, from dusk till dawn. But it's not quite the same when summer nights are gone. But even when they're gone, it won't be long. 8 more months and once again it's on.
Summer days just sitting around, but when the sun goes down, I'll be ready to party. Ain't nothing like them summer nights. Keep the top on drop, all the girls looking hot, hit